And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Opportunity Chats. And today, we have a special guest here today. We have Nicole. Nicole, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
That's good,
feeling
man.
Very blessed to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. See what I did there?
You got there. Yeah. But Nicole, man, let's get into what you actually do at the moment as well, okay? Yeah. Because your journey is quite fascinating. Knowing that you've come from a high job, you've taken a risk, and it's actually looking like it's paying off at the moment.
All by the grace of God. So, hi guys, my name is Nicole and I'm an ex-investment banker and I'm now a real estate girly. And what I do specifically is rent-to-rent Airbnb. So, you'll probably get into it later. So let me leave it at that. Let me not give away too much too soon.
Now, you know what, yeah? We're going to get into it a bit later. Yeah. But right now, what I want to know is, what was your thought process when it came to you leaving your banking job? Yeah. Because £80,000, you know, that means some people, you made it. You know what I mean? You've made it in the corporate industry and you've just decided to leave it to take a risk to do the real estate.
Yeah. So for me, I think obviously money is great. Everyone needs money. Money is important. But for me, I was just getting to a season in my life where it was just like, purpose was way more important for me. So I was just thinking, okay, cool, like I'm at the desk here and I'm making this money, but I don't feel fulfilled, I don't feel happy, and I feel like I'm not using the gifts that God had put inside me. And in that season, in that time as well, I'd also been developing my faith. You know, when it says seek ye first the kingdom and all these things shall be added onto you, I was like, I know for a fact I went into that role chasing the money primarily, saying like, okay, cool, if I do investment banking, I'm going to make money, life is going to be good. But you shouldn't chase money, you should chase purpose. And after that, well, you chase the Lord, then you'll find purpose, and after that the money will come. So for me, that's just what I decided to do. And when I was like spending more time with the Lord and in my secret place, that's when I was just like, you know what, like I actually want to take the leap of faith in entrepreneurship. And then within entrepreneurship, it was the real estate space that
how did everyone around you feel when you told them that you're leaving your banking job?
So the gag is I didn't tell many people.
Okay.
So I quit before I told like there were a few of my friends that I told prior, but most of them I told like after the fact. Okay. I told my parents like a few weeks before I wanted to leave, but they had known that for a while I was on the outs. But I think sometimes when you have an idea and it's crazy and you feel like God is calling you to do something, you kind of have to preserve it just because it's so fragile. So telling people, they might have the best of intentions, but they just don't get the vision that you have. And naturally, when you're doing entrepreneurship, it is considered risky, and people that you love want to protect you from that risk. They want to keep you safe, and being in a job is safe. So I had that knowledge that that's what people would do. So I just kind of just kept it to myself and then just walked out in faith with God.
That's nice, man. And of course, I can see that God is something that is very personal to you, that as in is your foundation. Yeah. Why is it that you've decided to put God as your foundation of everything that you do?
Because if I don't have him, I'm nothing. And the thing is, we have to think if God is the manufacturer, God made us. He said, before I put you in your mother's womb, I knew you. If he is the one who forms me and knows me, why would I not seek him as my manufacturer to go and ask him, what will you have me do, Lord? I'm on this earth, what will you have me do? And we need to understand, I was saying this to my cousin yesterday, there's many ways that seem right unto man, but it actually ultimately leads in destruction. So you might think, no, this is what I think I need to be doing because this is what society tells me to do, but it'll end up in destruction in the long run. So for me, it's just okay, if God is my source, if God is my everything, if God loves me so much and he cares for me and he's my father, why wouldn't I just partner with him and do life? And of course, yes, it comes with its trials and tribulations, but we also have to appreciate that if God says that he cares for you and he loves you and he's going to provide, why not yield to whatever he wants from you? Because when you do life with God, he has to pick up the bill. If you go through a storm, he's going to be the one to carry you through because he's the one that put you on that path. When you're doing life by yourself now, it's a different story. It might not end up so sweet, but God in his favor and his mercy and his love, he will always work things out for your good. But why go through heartache, scars that you didn't need to have had you just not yielded to God? So for me, I don't want to do life without God.
That makes sense. It actually makes a lot of sense, man. It makes a lot of sense. And of course, I'm assuming that when it came to you telling your parents, you told them that, yeah, this is something I've been praying about in a while. Yeah. This is something that after speaking to God and feeling it in my spirit, this is the move that I need to make.
100%.
You mentioned something about how you dropped out of university to study economics.
Yeah.
A level.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy,
Yeah,
honestly.
it's crazy.
It sounds
crazy.
like you're already at university, but you decide to drop out of university to
And
take
go
a step back.
Yeah.
What was your thought process behind that?
So I think up until that point, like I was just allowing. So I've done GCSEs, I did like okay, and then I've done A levels, and I didn't do all that great. Given that like if you want to be a dentist, you need like 3 A's. So I didn't get the 3 A's that I needed to be a dentist. So in comparison to what I should have got, I didn't do well. So I realized that at that point on results day, like I didn't have a uni at first, and then my university I ended up going to study pharmacy, they called me like after like 4 o'clock on results day to be like, oh, we actually have a space for you, do you want to come? And I was just like I don't know, but my parents are like, you better go, there's no staying at home, you better go. And I was like, okay, cool. So I just went. And then like again, this is like again the season where I would say that I really locked in with God. I feel like when you go to uni, it's like a season that really shapes you. And at that time you're kind of like young and lit doing you, but then I feel like the Lord had always been calling me back, and I only stayed in that degree for 2 years, and obviously pharmacy is a 4-year course with a placement year after, so technically 5 years. But from year 2, I started to lock in with God and start to read my word and go to church. I wasn't the best, but I just started to do more than I had been doing. And I think that in that time of intimacy and going closer with him, I just realized that I was just letting life happen to me. Okay, results, bear in mind, I didn't necessarily try that hard for A-levels, so it's like, okay, results didn't bang, go to this degree. And I was just like, everyone's telling me what to do. What do I actually want to do? What are my actual skill sets? Like, what am I actually good at? What am I going to excel at? So, and not to say that pharmacy is a bad degree, because it's always about the alignment with your skill set and your purpose. It's never about like good or bad, because nothing's wholly good or bad. But for me, it was just like, okay, cool. When I look at my skill set, when I look back at my A level, like I got a B in economics. That's actually what I enjoy. Like when I love economics, I love business. So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to chase what everyone else thinks is good. Like pharmacy on paper is amazing. What is it for me? So then I was just like, you know, I'm going back to the drawing board. I love economics. I love business. That's actually what I want to study at uni, and then I'll take it from there. So I dropped out of my pharmacy degree, and at first I had BCC. And this, bear in mind, I've had like a transformational mindset shift as well. Like I'm like, nah, I need to do it, because I'm not going back to pharmacy. So if I'm gonna take this gap year, this needs to bang. So obviously I'm reading more books. I've developed personally as a person, obviously growing in my faith. Like that was a really transformational year. And before I even left, I really heard the Lord say like, this is what you're going to do. I want you to leave, like what you know, kind of like Abraham, leave this pharmacy degree and you're going to go into the University of Nottingham, which was always my dream university. And yeah, so I dropped out, and then by the grace of God managed to get 2 A's and a B, got into Nottingham and had the best time ever.
Nice, man. Amazing stuff, man. Would you say that some of the lessons that you learned from economics back then kind of helps you out now as well?
Yeah, I feel like the way economics makes you think about things, because economics says that, oh, supply, like obviously it says the basic supply equals demand, but even when you're studying the degree, you have to think of like, okay, this is what should happen, but we understand that humans aren't rational, so it makes you think about a certain like topic or instance in so many different like ways, which is obviously helpful in business, because obviously in business you're like, okay, cool, my price is the cheapest, technically everyone should buy it, but then you have to realize, okay, but people are driven by emotions, driven by a need to have a status, so maybe my cheaper option actually isn't the best, and maybe having it more expensive. So like I just love the way that economics makes my brain think like so much. I love economics.
No, it's true, man. It's true. I believe that is a human science. I believe. Yeah. Exactly. So it kind of delves into why people do behave the way they are, and not only that, but buy certain things that they want to buy. Yeah. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, humans are driven by emotions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And if we're not feeling emotionally moved by something, we're not going to buy it at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So, as you are a businesswoman yourself.
Yes.
What's the key emotions would you say that kind of gets people moved in terms of buying a product?
I think you have to help someone identify like where they are now and where they want to be. And if we think about it, that's what adverts do all the time. Like you see a Mercedes and you'll see the type of person driving that Mercedes. Let's say a Mercedes is something that you want. You'll see that type of person driving that Mercedes and their house that they're pulling up into. And it just gives you a picture. And it's like, if you're not there yet, you're like, that's where I want to be. And when I'm there, that's the car that I associate with being there and having arrived. Yeah. So that's what like ads and business is all about. It's just about like trying to play into somebody's needs and finding the way to best communicate that with them. so that like, yeah, you can give them value, because it's all about serving people at the end of the day.
Of course,
it's always about serving people, but when you're able to serve people and provide them with value, then you get compensated for it. So that's the key thing.
I like that you mentioned about how if someone with a Mercedes, for example, someone getting a Mercedes kind of just proves to themselves that they're now there.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't lie, I've always said that I wanted the Mercedes in my life, but now that you've said it out loud, I'm like, yeah, that is the reason why. That's actually the reason.
Exactly.
So it makes so much sense as to why people will be moved at this.
Yeah.
The reason why I want these certain things is because, of course, first thing first, just to be able to reap the fruits of my labor.
Of course.
But at the same time, to show that, I've come this far. I can't believe it. I made it this far.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna reward myself with the Mercedes. And Mercedes knows that, so that's how they like position their adverts, they position everything that they do, like, and that's just how it is. And obviously, if you even think about even further up the chain, like a Maserati, a Rolls Royce, and everything like that, they're even like more scarce. So it's just like they even play on the psyche even more so to even a select few people to let them know, like, okay, once you really, really made it, this is a new class, this is a new level. And it's just always about finding out what people need, what people are like desiring, and making your messaging touch on that point, so then people are emotionally moved.
Wow. That's powerful, man. Powerful. I'm even thinking, when it comes to other things in general, so let's say, for example, you doing a rent-to-rent Airbnb, do you base the Airbnb based on what they want, a desire in terms of the luxuriness?
Yeah.
Or is it more of a thing where it's just like, okay, cool, what's the most popular destination for them to go? And as long as it looks half decent, then I'm going to give it to them.
I think in all things, with any business you do, it doesn't just solely... this doesn't just solely happen in rent-to-rent. It's just always like, you always want to find out the demand before you supply. Because people have had this before, which is like, you think you have the best idea, but there's no demand for it. So even if you think it's the best idea, everything is about demand. Business is supply and demand. So for me, I just kind of reverse engineer. I reverse engineer. This is what I do. I reverse engineer what the demand is going to be. So for me, I don't really do Airbnb on the tourist side of things. I do it for people who want to stay for a long period of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. I've even had a guest who's there right now and they've been there for a whole year.
Wow.
And that's because like I looked at, okay, what's the demand here? Okay, cool. Because I deal with a lot of contractors, what's the work that's going on here? And that's the kind of like way that I found my demand, and then I supply it. Because in business, there's always a way to make money, but you just need to make sure that you are catering to someone's demand. That's as you said, serve someone, and then you'll reap serve someone, provide them with value, and then you'll reap the compensation thereafter. So
how do you even market it to them then yourself? Like, how do you find these people that need it?
So at first, it was just a case of like putting yourself out there, but then obviously there comes a point where, because contractors stay for such a long period of time, like it gives me a long time to market to new like companies and new businesses. And it's just about scoping about what's going on in the area. Like in business, you always have to like be so observant of the land and like what's going on around you, what's the environment saying, how can I tap into this? Like you just always just have to be aware. So if again, and also like word of mouth and recommendation. So if a company stays, then I'll be like, okay, cool, like do you know anyone else? If you bring someone else, then there'll be a referral fee. There's just so many tricks and tips that I've had to like learn over the way, and you'll be able to pick up so much by how you shop as a consumer. So for example, I don't know, for example, Tesco have their like Tesco card, their club card, and obviously some of their goods, like you've noticed that more and more of their, when you go to the shops, a lot of their discounts are available if you have a club card. But obviously that now, if you have a club card and you see something more expensive in Sainsbury's, you'll be like, nah, actually, I saw it cheaper with my club card at Tesco, so let me go. So it's just like things that I see when I shop, I'm like, okay, how can I adopt this in my business? Like, obviously, that wasn't like the most linear example, but it's just like, okay, cool, what do I like? I like it if I recommend someone to something, I get discounts. So let me do that for my clients as well. So it's just about how do I shop? How am I moved as a consumer, and then put that in my business? That's just what I do. Nice.
It makes logical sense, man. Makes logical sense. I say, Nicole, we go for a break.
Okay, cool.
Stretch out the legs.
No problem.
Something like that.
No problem.
And then, guys, we'll be back.
Lovely.
So stay tuned.
How was that so? No, wait, pause, sorry. Can you turn on the AC?
Oh, you want me to turn on the AC? Is it actually that? Oh, damn. Alright, that's cool. I'm just hoping that it doesn't cause noise.
Yeah. Do you think it will pick up?
I've never done it before, only because if it does pick up, then you can hear the little...
Okay, let's leave it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But if you need to step out now.
No, was it? Let's push through.
Nicole, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Woo!
Alright. You ready, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go. We're going to start off with how does it actually work, right?
Okay, cool.
And we're back. We are back. Now, Nicole, of course, you do rent-to-rent Airbnbs. But how does it actually work? Because to me, I'll be honest, it seems difficult. It seems like it's just a long thing to do.
Yeah.
That, you're going to have to rent this person. And if a problem goes down, you're going to have to deal with it. And you have to deal with difficult clients and stuff like that. So how does it actually work?
Yeah. So simple breakdown, layman's terms, what it is that I'll go to a landlord and ask to rent their property, and with their permission and consent, guys, with their permission and consent, then I'll put on Airbnb and book.com. Don't come and say exactly. Don't come and say Nicole said, because I didn't say that. Make sure you get the consent. And I'll put on Airbnb and booking.com. So easy numbers that I always use. Let's say you have a studio apartment and it's £1,000. So I'll rent it from the landlord for £1,000. Then I'll put on Airbnb and booking.com, let's say for £100 a night. If I'm booked up for let's say 22 nights, that's 2,200 I've made. I pay the landlord his 1,000, let's say, then I pay 300 in bills, and then I keep 900 for myself. So that's actually how it works. And then obviously the more that you scale, the more profit you get, and happy days. Happy days,
man. What? Now I've got another question. I know we touched on it before, but it's like, don't you think when it comes to renting out a room for 20 days out of the month, for example, consistently finding clients to be able to take that must be challenging?
No, so you'd be surprised because especially everything depends on location. Remember what I said, demand as well. Yeah. So for me, it's if I know there's a lot of building work going on in the area, 20 days is even light because they're going to be on a project. Think about when these new builds go up. How long are they working on that project for? They're working on it for months. So for me, it's a case of, okay, cool. If I picked a good area and I picked a property that looks good, there's going to be someone who wants to stay there. And not even just from contractors. Think about, let's say, a family who are looking to move house, but their new house isn't ready yet because maybe the paperwork is taking long, but they've had to move out of their current house. They need a place to stay. They'd rather not stay in a hotel. So Airbnb, again, is a place where they would find a long-term accommodation. But obviously they can't take out a whole new rental agreement because rental agreements are typically for a year. Whereas Airbnb is you could be there for a day, you could be there for 3 months, you could be there for a year. It just depends. It allows more flexibility. So I feel Airbnb allows that long-term flexibility without having to lock yourself in, especially in times of for work or for changing seasons.
Okay. Yeah. So it's more of a case where because it's more flexible, they can just be okay, cool, we don't want to rent this place anymore, and they will just leave.
This will be our last day, and then that's it.
That's why customers would come to you rather than just actually getting
exactly
for the day. It makes sense. Wouldn't that cause stress in your head just in case, because you never know, this could be the client's last time saying it, or they could just turn around and say, I know we told you we're going to stay here for a year, but we're going to stay here for 2 months instead.
No, but that's fine. But then typically we'll have in the agreement okay, cool, just give me X amount of notice. And again, it's all about location and demand, that once they do leave, you probably got someone else lined up anyways because the demand of the area is so good. So that's why everything is based on demand.
Wow. Yeah. How were you able to put your name out there when it comes to it?
I think so. Doing amazing podcasts like this, just jumping on, shameless plug. But collaboration, being present on social media, and just telling everyone what you do. I think in some ways, on social media, we can be showing off our lifestyle, but it's we actually need to be talking about the things that matter. How are you adding value to people? How can you serve people? Because in doing that, then you're putting a name out there for yourself. And even if let's say you're in my circle, you don't necessarily need my services, but you might know someone else who does. So it's just always about keeping yourself present and keeping yourself on people's minds. So putting yourself out there, guys.
So you think the importance of you putting yourself out there, putting yourself out there makes you money?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, because like, what is the point of having a gift that only you know about? That's crazy. Like, what is actually the point? And I think in terms of it, and it's not necessarily like, okay, cool, you put yourself out there and like maybe YouTube pays you, but it's the connections. Again, someone might recommend you to someone else who needs your service. So yeah, like there's just, when you put yourself out there, there's so many ways that you can make money. You put yourself out there, let's say you're doing YouTube, you've hit the criteria to start monetizing on YouTube, you made money on YouTube, cool. You're offering a service. I talk about rent to rent. A landlord is watching my YouTube, is just like, you know what, Nicole, I actually need your help. I'd love for you to take on my property. That's another way I've made money. Let's say I'm telling guys, yeah, hi guys, I teach, which I do. I teach rent to rent. We'll get to that.
Just sneak it in.
Let's say I teach and the student comes up to me and just like, Nicole, I want to learn. From me just putting myself out there, I've created 3 new opportunities of making money. Then let's say I don't know, come on a podcast or something like that, and then that's also monetized. And that host is like, okay, cool, for every like person that clicks, you get X amount. Like, from you just putting yourself out there, one thing that you have spoken about in 4 ways and 4 angles has made you money. And why would you not speak about everything that you're doing and how amazing you're doing? And it's not actually not to brag, because at the end of the day, you're here to serve. If you're thinking about yourself and you're being selfish and the only reason you're doing it is to make money, that's wrong. But in you doing the right thing and telling people how you can serve and give them value, the money will find you. And that's why I said in life, don't follow money, follow like how you can help. What is your field of favor? What do you do quite easily? And that other people be like, right, you're actually really gifted and talented in that. That's probably where you need to really work on and harness and use that to start serving people, and eventually the money will come.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Clack it.
No, yeah. No,